Welcome to Ascend and Awaken, a life of balance. In a noisy world filled with constant stimulation, there's a timeless call that still whispers to the soul, the call of silence. In today's video, we explore the sacred power of silence through the lives and teachings of the Desert Fathers, early Christian mystics who retreated to the wilderness of Egypt and Syria in the 3rd and 4th centuries. They left behind the distractions of society, not to escape life, but to find its essence. Their simple lives, filled with contemplation, solitude, and prayer, gave birth to a spiritual tradition that continues to inspire seekers across all paths. 1. Who were the Desert Fathers? The Desert Fathers were a group of Christian hermits, monks, and mystics who lived in the deserts of Egypt, Palestine, and Syria. They sought to deepen their relationship with the divine through radical simplicity, silence, and spiritual discipline. Figures like Saint Anthony the Great, Saint Macarius, and Abba Moses became spiritual legends, not because of what they preached, but because of how they lived, in deep communion with silence, humility, and inner stillness. 2. Why silence was sacred. For the Desert Fathers, silence wasn't emptiness. It was the container for presence. It was in the absence of external noise that they discovered the voice of God, the stirrings of their soul, and the healing balm of inner peace. They believed that silence was the gateway to wisdom and spiritual clarity. Abba Poman once said, "If you are silent, you will have peace wherever you live." Silence was not merely the absence of sound. It was a sacred state of receptivity. In silence, truth emerged, ego dissolved, and the heart was able to hear what the world could never say. 3. Practices of the desert. Their practices were incredibly simple yet profound. Many lived in caves or small huts, rising before dawn to pray, meditate, and read scripture. They fasted not for punishment, but for clarity. They practiced manual labor, humility, and mindful awareness of every thought and emotion. And above all, they cultivated silence as a sacred space where the soul could meet the divine without interference. 4. Lessons from the wilderness. The wilderness, both literal and symbolic, was central to their path. It stripped them of comfort, forced them into radical dependence on God, and revealed their own inner landscapes. The desert exposed their fears, attachments, and illusions, but it also revealed a vast inner stillness, a place untouched by the world. Their solitude wasn't loneliness, but a communion with something greater than themselves. They came to know that silence wasn't an escape, it was the real world. 5. The relevance today. What can we learn from these ancient mystics? In today's chaotic world, silence is more important than ever. It's not about moving to the desert. It's about finding your own inner desert, a place where you can pause, reflect, breathe, and reconnect with your deepest truth. The practices of the Desert Fathers invite us to slow down, unplug, and listen, not just to the world, but to the whisper of the soul. Even a few minutes of silence each day can shift your life toward peace, clarity, and spiritual alignment. 6. The invitation. Silence is not reserved for saints and mystics. It belongs to all of us. In moments of stillness, we remember who we are. The Desert Fathers remind us that true transformation doesn't come from more noise, more information, or more striving. It comes from within, in silence, in surrender, and in presence. So find your quiet. Enter your inner desert. And listen. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to Ascend and Awaken for weekly teachings on spiritual presence and inner peace. Peace, love, and light to you on your continual spiritual journey.